Hey, what is going on everybody? Welcome back to the most underrated PC building YouTube channel. And in today's video, I'll be building for you guys a all-white themed gaming PC for just 820 Canadian dollars, or for you Americans out there, under 625 USD. So stay subscribed and let's get to the video. For the CPU and motherboard, I'll be using this i9-8950HK and the ASRock B365M OEM from Facebook Marketplace for just $240. This i9 got 6 cores and 12 threads, base clock of 2.9 GHz and a boost of 4.8 GHz. It's a laptop modified chip on a modded B365M BIOS. It has very similar performance to a Ryzen 5 2600X when the power limit is unlocked from the default of 45 watts. The RAM I paired the CPU motherboard combo with is a 16GB 2x8GB kit of G-Skill RGB RAM clocked at 2666 MHz for just $50 from Facebook Marketplace. Since it's just an Intel chip, 2666 is basically the best speed it could utilize. To cool the CPU, I got this Deepcool Gammax GTE V2, which is 12V 4-pin ARGB cooler from Amazon warehouse for just $27. Not only is it enough to keep the CPU cooled, it is also amazing looking with the plated heatsink, and it could be hooked up to the motherboard for software RGB control. I would recommend a flat-bladed copper cooler for a much better temp if you want to overclock. For the storage devices, I decided to go with a 256GB SATA M.2 SSD, which I was able to get brand new for just $25. I also had to add a $30 1TB drive because 128GB is just the boot drive. Also, thanks to Zach's Tech Turf, I will now be using a M.2 heatsink, which cost me only $5 from AliExpress, and I'll be using them for all my upcoming builds. As for the graphics card, I was able to snatch this MSI Ventus RTX 2060 Super off of Facebook Marketplace a few months ago for just $280, which is still a great price at the time of editing considering these perform similar to a RTX 3060. But those cards are still selling in my local used market for around $300 to $400. And of course, you could definitely find a better deal if you have the patience. To power the whole system, I went with this EVGA 650 GQ 80 Plus Gold fully modular unit, and since I parted this out from another system, I'm going to count it as just $35. Nothing else to say about this other than that it is a really good quality power supply from EVGA, and it's 80 Plus Gold with fully modular cables. Since this steel is not going to be as repeatable, just find any good quality 450 watt or higher power supply. It'll be more than good enough to power today's system. Since this is gonna be a all-white gaming PC build guide, I had to add the aesthetic choice of the custom white cable extension mod that I was able to get from AliExpress for just $25. And I gotta say, that was a really good call because the end result for the computer looks amazing. Lastly, for the case, I got this Deepcool CC560 white ATX tower chassis for $85. But I was able to flip the static blue LED fans included inside, so that knocks down the price to just $60. It is a cheaper feeling case comparing to Deepcool's CK and CG lineup of cases, but it still has great airflow and a lot of cable management space than any of those dropship cases you will find on Amazon. However, since there's no fans in there, I decided to put these 4 Zalman 12V ARGB fans from my last build video, which I will just count as $25, and since it's 12V 4-pin, it'll be able to sync it up with the ARGB fan on the CPU cooler perfectly. Oh, and I almost forgot about this Funko Pop we'll be using in today's build, which is the Stormtrooper from the Star Wars concept series, which I was able to get off Amazon for $23 after tax. With all that being said, here's a quick price tally for today's build, and for the very first time, I'll be putting a link in the description for each and every one of the parts I used in today's build guide. Okay, so it turns out the Ultra M.2 slot on this motherboard, or on any motherboard in general, just doesn't support NGFF SSDs. So I went on Amazon and grabbed this NV1 250GB NVMe SSD, and it should work perfectly fine now. It's still gonna be the same, but the pricing is gonna go up by $15 because this is $40. Thanks for watching today's build video. If you enjoyed the content, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you didn't, still give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Click the icon on the left to watch last month's build guide, or you can click on the right to watch all my PC build videos.